I hope you don't have, I didn't check your area. Okay, I think we are a little bit too bright here. Let me see. This looks much better. I didn't check your area, Elaine, to see if you have any kind of storms. We are supposed to have something here later, but not in my county. So, hi Sharon. I hope everybody is doing good. And I thought just let's just make a little. Let's play with some inclusions and with polymer clay and UV resin and see what we can come up with. Okay, so I have these, but I'm gonna put them to the side and do another thing first. I think I've shown you before the water, the ocean waves effect, and we're gonna take this a little bit up another notch. And what I have here is white pearl and peacock pearl, and what I'm going to do is make some bubbles. So I already mixed it, and yes, it is from an older thing. But what I'm going to do is some bubbles. So I got this. I'm going to take it through the machine on a thin setting. And I'm going to use the dark part inside. Hi Lynn. How is everybody doing today? The weather, it seems to have slowed down a little bit compared to what we had in April and May. I'm actually thinking that I might put stuff back in the closet, because I have quite a bit of stuff in my closet. My tornado shelter closet. Hi Carlene. So we have this, right? And I'm going to reduce it. So yeah, as I was saying, I have to kind of empty it if there is a tornado warning, so I can get in with the kitties. And I counted 6 times I had to do that. So the last time I just did not put everything back in. I have I'm a little bit of a hoarder, not much, okay, but to give you an example, I still have the boxes. My TV and my big monitor came in, and my computers, my desktops, just because you never know when I have to move them. So yeah, they take room, of course. Okay, so I'm going to have some of this size, and actually let's get a little bit more, and then I'm going to have some smaller. And I'm going to have some of this even smaller ones flattened up a bit. I know they don't all look the same length, but that's fine. You'll see in a moment why. Okay, so I got this right now, and I'm going to Yeah, it's a little bit cooler today too compared to yesterday, because yesterday we had 96 degrees, which for before the even the summer solstice, it's a little bit obnoxious. Righty, so I am going to get them so they don't look all Natasha'd. Alrighty. And I'm going to grab my yes, you made it. Thank you for making it. I thought I lost my glasses. Yeah, so I saw my primary care doctor on Wednesday, and I did some blood work, and I have to go back in 2 weeks to do more blood work, because apparently some of my stuff came up wonky. So my doctor wants to make sure that there isn't something super dangerous or stuff like that. I think I know what it is, and it's not that dangerous, but you know, she's the one with the medical degree in the United States, so I have to do what she says. So I think that I got too many. So let me put this back. Now I am going to burnish. Or see how this thing all looks kind of like, kind of sort of like ocean water near the shore. So as usual, the waxy part down. Hi, Ilyanka. Now I can remove it from here for now and get me a better working place. And before I do that, because I do have these mica lines, I'm going to feather a little bit here so that it wouldn't be so totally wonky. And now this. And one more time, because I want to use the cutter that I already lost. No, I didn't lose it. Yeah, it needs to be a little bit longer. And there we go. So now we are all wavy and all that. Hey. Yeah, and my somehow Finnegan got hold of my texturing sponge and managed to chomp some of it. Still, most of it is intact, so I can still use it. I might have dropped it because he knows he cannot get anything that's not on the floor. If it's on the floor, that's for him, that is fair game. Okay. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is to grab a little bit of, what color should I use? I kind of do need more of a grayish thing. So this is some totally contaminated white with a bit of black, and I might need more white. I have all kinds of colors here because I keep working on stuff in the hopes that one of these days I'm going to work on something. I'm just mixing it. I'm not twisting it. I hope you notice that I'm not really twisting anything. I'm simply just kind of sort of mixing. And now I'm going to use it through the machine on a very, very thin setting. And I know that a lot of what I'm showing you requires a lot of actual hand work. But I think that in this day and time, unless you want to work a lot of stuff that's for sale in biggish numbers, you kind of need to strive for stuff that is a little bit different, because if you see the trends, right, and certain cutters are more in trend now, and another new cutter comes up and is in trend next month, then more known artists does something using a certain type of cutter and texture, and then everybody uses that. So even if they use different colors and different techniques and coverings and inclusions and stuff, everybody ends up doing the same type of thing. And that's why I'm trying to show you how to do certain things a little bit different. Okay, so now we are going to kind of make some fish. Which is not hard at all. Just using the... Let me know if you want me to zoom in. It's just a simple fish thing. Hey, I lifted one. Come out wherever you are. Okay, and we are going to place this little fish on here. Alrighty. And now we are going to burnish again. So first use your fingers. And then an acrylic block. And in the end, rub. And you'll get something that it's perfectly, let me actually zoom in a little bit. Alrighty. Now, remember that in my Amazon influencer store, you can find in the resin, there is, give me just a second to get there. So let's put up the display. So if you go in my Amazon influencer store, look for resin, because you see I'm sorting everything, and I have several resin categories. One of them is mold. You don't need to look there. You look at resin and kits, and you'll notice that I have first there's a book, and also I have first the 2 parts resin that are epoxy, polyester, and also hold on, there's one more. Epoxy. Fiberglass. And then there's the UV resin, and I have it as hard resin. I hope we are showing, yeah. Hard resin, and then I have soft UV resin. And then there's colored UV resin, and then pigments for resin. Now, be very careful, because there would be, even if you don't buy from my store, there would be different vendors on Amazon that will put on the pigments for resin. They'll put that it's good for UV, and then if you try it, it will not cure. The easy, and I've explained this many times before, the easiest way to figure out if a pigment you're buying is for UV resin or not, look at the color of the bottle. If you can see, like on this one, for example, even if it says translucent, this one is honest, it says AB resin coloring, but you see, you can see the color of the pigment through the bottle. Or like this one doesn't say at all what it is, what type of resin it is for, but again, you can see the pigment through the bottle. But the pigments that are good for UV resin, they will be in dark bottles. You will not be able to see the color through the bottle, and that is because they are UV resin very strongly pigmented, but because it is UV resin, obviously they need to protect it from light. And then all kinds of stuff to work with resin. I have these gel pads that you can put stuff on, and I've shown before. Then I have the disposable syringes, as well as blunt tip needles that are big gauge. Then tiny levels and all kinds of these. I have hygrometers to measure the humidity in the air, and then all kinds of rods and paintbrushes and stuff to remove bubbles, and then UV resin. Then lamps, flashlights, UV flashlights and UV lamps. The one that I personally own is the very last UV lamp listed here, the one that's for $34.99. And but I got it several years ago, so they are, in the meantime, they are ones that are higher wattage. At the time I got it, it was one of the highest wattages. The more watts, the less time you need for it to cure. And then I have all kinds of kits, obviously. So let's get back to our thing. And I'm going to use, first of all, I need to cut it before I do anything else. So yeah, yesterday I was so tired working in the garden, and I was supposed to work in the garden this morning too, but I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that today, because number one, I got myself very tired yesterday, and number two, I don't want it to mess up with my live. And I deserve a day, because I've been trying to do stuff around the garden all week long. Alright, so I hope I still have enough white. I'm going to use some of this white resin. Let me grab my and I might not, so whoopsie daisy. Oh, I do have. It was just at the very bottom. Okay, so I have this white resin. Another thing that I'm going to say really quick, because I get a lot of messages about UV resin. People are complaining that their resin starts hardening before they are done doing whatever they are trying to do. Remember that when you're working with UV resin cures, that's why it's called UV resin, cures in ultraviolet light. And if it is in the middle of the day and you do not have dark curtains and your blinds down, just the mere light coming from the windows is going to start curing your resin. So yep, it's going to start hardening before you manage to get whatever you need to do. Okay, so as you can see, it's barely whitish. Okay, now remember that white is the most opaque of all pigments. So I'm going to just drop very tiny bubbles. If you want to make this effect even stronger, oops, I didn't do good. If you want to make this effect even stronger, mix a little bit of interference blue mica powder and just plain UV resin. And I'll show this close up so you can see a better effect of it. Okay, I'm gonna put this to the side. And get it to cure. Now, separately, let's grab one of the black things. I am going to grab a little gold, plain gold. You can get any color, okay? Any color of metallic or pearlescent. And now let's twist it. Twist it again. It doesn't really have to be super duper perfect, the twisting. Just twist it so you would get mica shift effects. That's the whole thing that you need. Pearlescent and metallic clays are just so versatile that you'll never be out of ways of using it. Okay, so I got me some nice and flat stuff, and I'm going to cut me some strips. And cut them about the thickest setting that would be on your pasta machine. It doesn't have to be perfectly even because we are going to get it through the machine on the second thickest setting. Alrighty, and now I'm going to cut straight strips out of it. And we are going to place them on here. All right, then I'm going to grab a piece of, actually I need to have this on the same thickness, so because I had it on a thin setting, so I'm going to go with it through the machine on the same thickness before I drop it again. Okay, and that is a little bit too much, so even this than this. So I need about this much. And I'm going to grab some foil and try to find my, there it is, my little tweezers for foil. And now I'm going to go through the holding my breath phase. And I do like variegated foil, so I know that these jars are quite expensive. You can find them in my Amazon influencer store, and they are quite expensive, but I've had this jar for like 5 years, and you can see that it looks barely touched. What I'm trying to do is to cover as much of this black wet foil as I can. So I'm trying to pick smallish pieces. It doesn't have to be completely and totally covered, just as much as possible. Alrighty, and now I'm going to cut again to make sure that I have a good straight thing here. I'm gonna make something super glitzy. All right, and then I'm going to start using some flakes. First, I'm going to go with the Fire Opal of Ice Resin. Hi Anna, how are you? And I'm going to place some of these in here, in these little notches. And of course I had to sprinkle some. I don't want any on my gold. Should have left a little bit more room here. Then let's grab some in this bigger area. I'm going to clean the gold after this. Hey, saw what I did? That is from bad hand coordination. I'm covering it up before I blow into it. much as possible. And cut again. We are going to clean a little bit more thoroughly now, just to make sure I don't make a lot of mess ups. So I got some alcohol on my paper towel. There we go. Now I'm going to place first some resin in the empty areas here. Don't worry about that smaller area, that's going to be fine. And let's cure it first. And this is how the other one looks like. I should have gotten the it's not very visible on this camera. I can see it with the naked eye, but the camera doesn't show it properly. I'm gonna do it again with a different thing so you can see better, but you got the idea of the water waves. Of course I did put some flakes on some other stuff. All right. Thank you, Anna. We'll make another couple of gorgeous things. Now, while that thing is doing its thing there, I'm going to grab some more of these remnants of white and peacock pearl. Just simply get them like this. The flat, oops. Ugh. I'm so clumsy sometimes. I don't know what to do with myself. Okay. And now I'm going to simply spiral it. Now remember that there's all kinds of bits and pieces inside. It's not a continuous line. we're gonna get about 6 of these. Let me put them to the side and finish this. No, come this way. Yeah, I got it done. This should actually be done in several batches to get this one at the beginning, but at the same level with the rest, but I thought my hands can work faster than... Never mind, I will show you how to fix this as usual if it happens, whenever you're doing anything of the sorts. Conversely, you can work backwards, and I can show you how to work backwards from that as well. Okay, let's go back to this thing. So I do have a few more pieces here. So you kind of want to have them looking in the same direction, curling in the same direction. And I'm going to place a few here. Just to hold the whole thing. Well, usually, excuse me, usually I don't make a mess, but sometimes I do. Nobody's perfect. So see how we got some pretty effects just simply using leftovers. Kind of want them to be the same size. So now I'm gonna cut it. Kind of work the same way. Actually, what I'm going to do is place the flakes first so I don't make such a mess anymore. And get this one more time. This time I'm going to use the aquamarine. Yay, look at that, I dropped a whole bunch. Alrighty. I had one more, but apparently I do not. But I had another color, but apparently I do not have another color. Alrighty, so this would be another effect. Going to have to go grab a resin mold. Stay there. And you do the exact same thing. Show you how to work backwards with it. Okay, so I'm going to first put resin on this and let it. What the hell are you doing? Now to fix this, first of all you need to get it off the, and it works better when the clay is baked. So I would first bake it and then fix it. But the way that you work it, trying not to cut myself because that wouldn't be very pleasant. There we go. Okay, so practically what you do, you grab your scissors, and you simply cut the resin. And it works wonders. It's not perfectly cured yet, but this is pretty much it. I am fixing stuff. There you go. I fixed it. Now I can put a final coat of resin, and then all this stuff can be gently sanded. Okay. Just wanted to show you how this can be fixed. I'm not going to bother putting the other resin right now, and we'll look at this in a little bit after this one gets properly done. So, all kinds of various effects depending on the color. Oh, I'm sorry, I usually try to say heck, but I guess, not this one, but I guess this time it slipped. I'm sorry. I apologize. Guess when someone gets older, they don't pay so much attention to what they're saying. Anyway, my channel is not for kids, so it's branded as such. Oh, you're going out again. Look at that. Look at that. It wants to run. All these nice places you can go to, and you choose to go there. But no, normally if I wouldn't remember that there's stuff that when I do for the camera or for just myself, I work differently, and I have a different viewing angle, and of course you have to go there too. Anyway, give me a minute to grab a regular mold, resin mold. Let's get this one because it is more conducive to what we are trying to do here. Alrighty, so I'm going to just simply place resin, regular resin. And I have a bubble. And it's at the bottom. Oh, come on, get up. What I like about the Chinese resin is that you don't even have to worry much about bubbles once you bring them to the surface. They usually pop by themselves. Alrighty. And this, of course, is going to get fixed the same as the other one was, but I'm not going to bother right now. I'm just going to put it aside so we can look at it once I'm done and I change the lighting so we can see better. Yep, and remember that I use that in quite a few tutorials. If you remember, there's a hold on. I had this tutorial. Just a second to share it, and we'll look at some of it while I'm all right. So no, not you, this. Okay, so at the very end when I'm doing the backing, get to the backing of it. Okay, so this is the backing. I just used white pearl with some flakes in it. I think that this is the backing. And glitter and stuff. No, it's not this one. Sorry. Where the heck is the backing? Okay, this is the backing. This is the backing. So all I did was just to, first I folded it, and then I twisted it, if I remember right correctly. No, I just brainwaved it. And once it's baked and all that, let me go to the end. You can see how pretty the back is right here. It's very mother of pearly. There you go. You can get a good look at it. And this is all done just with various effects of micas and stuff. Mica shift and things. Okay. Did I post this? I did post it. Okay, so let's get back to our thing. So get it back here. Oh, come on. Needs just a little bit more of. You just want to be, so these ones you can also find, they're actually two-part molds. You do the back and you do the front. You can also find it in my Amazon influencer store. It's a set of various shapes, but I chose this one because it's got this little dip here, and I wanted to show you something with it. Alrighty, so now what I'm going to do, because this is my back, this is my front, what I'm going to do is kind of sort of trace it. It's an approximate tracing, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm going to use the black, I think, the fire opal. Yeah, you can also twist strips of pearlescent or metallic and just and this one you can do it with both flakes or metal leaf. And this should be more than enough. Yes, I'm making a mess, I know. And we are going to place it on the back here. You can put a little bit of resin if you want to make sure that it does get, no, brush a little bit of resin to make sure that it gets well stuck. I'm going to just and it of course it can get much better. I've been here for over an hour and I'm starting to hurt and obviously mess up things, but you can still get the whole idea of how to do something like this. Not as messy as I just did it, okay? Be more careful. That's why I usually schedule my stuff for only an hour, because by the time an hour goes by, back starts screaming at me. I need to go lay down. I'm not silver. I don't need silver. I need the crystal opal right here in the middle of you. And stir the things in the inside a little bit. Anyway, now I can start showing this. Remember, this needs to be fixed. Properties. And these two. Maybe refocus. Actually need this to be less bright. It's amazing how the camera does not show what it should. Okay. Let me do this again and refocus this time. Okay, so it's not showing all the prettiness. Amazing how these cameras don't do good justice when it's not a regular daylight. I'm trying to. This is pretty much it. As close as I can get. And you want to leave these in that groove because it looks different than if you were to cover the clay with it. Now with this one is something that has happened to me many times. As you can see, the ones here and practically the front of the cabochon is not very transparent because it has become, it's not shiny. So what I usually do in this case, I just brush a little bit of tiny Pandora's stuff on it. But anyway, this looks like a window into something, as you can see. It's pretty nifty. So now I am going to go lay down and soothe my. Yeah, me too, that I have. It's not just, it's mostly my, and it's mostly the muscles on my back because remember they removed those latissimus dorsi muscles. So in order for me to stay upright, stand upright, it's the other muscle that's the erectus spinae. Hold on, let me. And it isn't able to do a good a good job of it. So going to get a little bit graphic here. So this is what, I don't know if you can see the cursor, but this triangular muscle is what they removed to and brought under the arm and put it in the front to cover my implants. So now only the muscles along the spine are the ones that hold my torso upright, and they get tired because they aren't supposed to do just that. They are supposed to do some of that, but not all of it. So anyway, thank you so much, and I'm trying to get back on track. It's hard. I told you I have health issues and the garden to take care of. If I could only get some help on that, but I can't. Anyway, thank you so much, and see you next Sunday, and let us all have good weather and blue skies. Bye.